Yeah, well, Ian, thanks very much for letting me come and see you today. I'm
That's all right.
here in Ian's studio and I've come to see how he does his work. Ian, you've been an illustrator for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, a long time now, over 30 years. I mean, I went to college and studied graphic design for about 3 years, and then I went into advertising, which was quite an experience, but I left after 3 or 4 years because I prefer going freelance. And during that time, I was just working for magazines anyway in my spare time. And so when I left, I started full time, and then I never looked back really. I used to work for most of the colour supplements and for advertising and all sorts of things, but not really very much children's illustration.
So when did you actually start drawing properly then?
Well, I wasn't getting on very well in advertising. It didn't really suit me. So what happened is in the evening I would sit down and try and think of another way of earning a living. And I started to draw and draw and draw. And then, lo and behold, I went to see a few magazines and they actually gave me a few jobs. In fact, the first job was for the Radio Times, which was, in those days, they would let you have a go at a regional supplement to try you out. And I never looked back after that, and I just kept on working. And then I had enough work that I was able to leave advertising and start full time.
Oh, so and what are you doing at the moment then?
Well, these days I do rather serious stuff. I mean, in a funny way. So I work for the Financial Times, and I work for the Mail.
So what sort of things do you do then, Ian?
Well, I do all sorts of things. I've been asked to do all sorts of things throughout my life. I mean, I've done stuff on underpants, and I've done stuff on milk bottles. I've got the milk bottle here.
Oh, really?
Somewhere, which has been put away. Here it is. That's the milk bottle.
Oh.
And
so how many of those did you do?
I did about 3 or 4.
Right.
And I did stuff for underpants as well, which I won't show you because there's
X-rated. Right, okay.
But I've got lots of pairs of underpants.
So who commissioned you to do that?
The
milk bottle?
That was the Milk Marketing Board,
Right.
or something like that. I don't know, it was a design group.
Right.
But that's a collectible piece. That is. If you've got any of those, they're worth a few pounds.
Oh, right.
Very few pounds, but a few
Okay,
pounds.
I'll have to have a look out in the car boot sale. What do you draw then, Ian?
Well, what I'm very good at is taking serious subjects that aren't funny and making them funny. So I do all sorts of things like that. And I've done quite a lot of children's stuff like that. So it's like serious facts and making the serious facts funny. So I'll show you a couple that I've done here.
Oh, yeah, great.
This one is called Unwrap the Mummy. And what it does is, if you can fit this all in, somewhere.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Whoa!
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
So I compiled the facts and I drew the picture, and somebody else I was commissioned to do it, so all the pieces come out.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So that's that. But I really like history anyway, so I like doing these historical things and the Times, apparently, I think it was the Times, said that this book had managed to trivialise 3,000 years of history in one go. So.
And do you have any particular characters that you always work with, or do you have different ones?
I don't really do characters, but I do like coming up with what you call concepts, which is whole subjects. And one of the ones that I came up with, with my friend Jean Willis, who wrote one of the books that is on the website, was this, which was about a whole planet, and they were called. He was a Quertian from Kroot, and we'd go along to the meetings, and I'd hide this in a bag. And then I'd say, I've got something to show you all around the table, and I'd show them this little character. He's getting a bit old now.
And did you build him?
I made him.
Really?
I made him.
What's it made out of?
It's made out of DAS, and he's looking a bit whiskery and cobwebby now.
Yes.
And he's faded on top. But there was a lot of interest at one time, and it was going to be made into a television pilot. But in the real world, not everything ever turns out as you hope, and it never actually happens. So I keep him there. I feed him
back in his box.
I feed him about twice a week, just to keep him alive. And there he is, and he can look out and watch me and make sure
And
I'm
what's he
working.
called?
He's a Quertian.
Right. And did you do any drawings of him as well? Or
Yes,
did you
yeah.
do kind of... Are these some of the other characters? What's he called, this character?
He's a Quertian, and it was a whole planet full of different characters, and it was about how they lived and worked and played. And there's a guidebook, a bit like a Dorling Kindersley book, which you could look at, and it would tell you the best places to get food on the planet, and the best monuments to go and see, and about their politics and all sorts of interesting things. It was a great idea, and I always hope that one day Jean and I will be able to get somebody else interested in it.
What are you doing at the moment, Ian?
Well, I'm writing and illustrating a trilogy of stories, and they're all moral tales, which are stories that teach you a lesson in being good.
Are they for children?
And they're for children, and I've written one which is on the internet at the moment, which on as an iBook, which is the story of Hustle and Tussle, and I'm just illustrating one now, which is the story of Darren the Drop Dead Gorgeous, which is a tale about a very handsome king who's very vain and learns a tough lesson in life.
Right, so have you just done one book so far, and this is the second?
This is the
trilogy,
second,
is it?
yeah, and
Okay.
I've got a third one that I've half written.
Right, and how do you do the drawings? How do you produce this iBook? Is it
Well,
all on computer? Or?
No, I usually, I'm not very good at just drawing straight onto the computer, so what I do is I draw a picture of the character, and then I scan it onto the computer. This is very quick and not quite as good as I normally do it, but anyway, it gives you a good idea, like that.
Okay.
And then, as I said, I scan
And
it onto
that's
the computer.
Darren, is it?
That's Darren.
So is he a prince or a king?
He's a king, but he's off-duty king, so he's only got
Okay.
he only
hasn't
wears
got
his
his
crown
crown
on
on.
special occasions.
Oh, okay. Right.
But you can tell he's handsome because he's just got a stubbly face,
Oh,
and he's
okay.
got a
Very
double chin,
cool.
and he's got
Right.
he's actually
Nice
based
big
on
chest and a
yeah, a bit,
waspish waist.
a bit like me really.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay, I haven't
yeah.
noticed. You do the drawing on paper and then you transfer it into the computer, and that's where you do the colouring, is it?
That's right. So we'll have, if we look at the computer screen now, I'll show you what I do. This is, as they said in Blue Peter, one I did earlier. So this is the rough outline. And what I do is you can work on what are called layers. So if you imagine different pieces of tracing paper, and you can draw on one and colour underneath it. So this is the colouring. I'll bring up the colouring. Like that.
Wow.
When I've coloured it up to my satisfaction, I then make the lines go away, boom,
Right.
like that, and then I can do in the background. I shall just find a colour to do in the background. Oh. And here we go. And so you can colour it in, and what is great is you can colour all
Oh.
over it, and it doesn't.
And it doesn't go over the lines.
Yeah, so you go
Fabulous.
there, see?
Right. Okay.
So and then what you do, you gradually end up with something like that.
Oh.
And then I thought, what wouldn't it be nice to
okay.
have a bit of sunlight coming in? So
Oh.
there's the sunlight, and I don't know what that bit is. That bit's nothing. So that's the sort of thing
Right.
you end up with.
Okay. And where do the words go?
The words I don't know yet, so they'll probably go down there. But
Right. Okay.
the great thing about working for iBooks is that you can do a lot more pages with children's books. It's quite you're limited to a certain amount of spreads, whereas you can have as many pictures as you like. So they're actually a lot better value, really.
You've already finished one. Which is the one you finished?
That is Ye Legend of Hustle and Tussle.
Oh, okay.
That
And
is
we can
about-
see that on the website.
You can see that on the website, and it's about two warring towns who are continually at war, and they realise how stupid they are
Oh,
to not
okay.
live in peace.
Okay, well, I should look forward to seeing that. Well, thanks, Ian. That's all been really interesting to
Thank
see
you.
how you work. And I look forward to reading the books.
Good, and buying them.
Oh yes, absolutely. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.